So this was Rob Noerr versus Jazmin Jaffar. And I don't know exactly what she said, but she pissed Rob off a lot. And Rob decided to he channeled his inner Andrew Wilson. Let's give it a watch because this is one of the funniest things I've seen all year.
From all parties involved, and you should try to make those sacrifices as much as possible to make sure that the child is raised in the best situation possible.
Okay. 50%, yeah, 50% of marriages right now around are getting divorced. It cannot be normal for it to be exactly at 7 years because that would already put it under 50%. Okay, this is not difficult.
Saying 7 years is normal.
Let me finish. So what you're saying is basically,
let me finish. Thank you for the 5 gifted Crucible memberships. I appreciate it.
That I'm not saying we should, I'm saying we should expect divorce.
Huge. 15,000 ISK. I have no idea what that translates to. Mr. Enigmatic, please figure out what 15,000 ISK is real quick. I'd appreciate it. Putting more Crucible coins in the crystal machine. Well, I appreciate that. We have many to crystallize this fine year.
That would be $107 US.
$107 US. Thank you for the $100 super chats. Very kind of you. The volume isn't actually low. Rob has this problem. Many streamers have this same issue. He likes to back his head away from his mic when he gets animated. So listen to this. Audio is really, really good, really, really good, really, really not good, really, really not good, really, really good, really, really good. He tends to do this when he's streaming. It's very frustrating to watch, but that's why he always sounds so low, is because he's animated against his own microphone.
This is going to be it's very common. Even in your situation, you'd say, oh, I at least wait till the children left. You would be a case of divorce too. That's not in 7 years. It's in whatever many years. That's called a gray divorce, which is going through the roof. Do you have a problem with gray divorces when children are out of the house in that situation? Like even you said you might get divorced, because that's still divorce. And a lot of that is happening at that.
Now, inside of Rob's brain right this second, there's this thing which is turning on. His inner blood sport debater is simmering, and it's about to detonate. And when it does, because you don't ever expect this from Rob Noerr, it is quite possibly one of the funniest exchanges I have seen. I backed it up just a little bit, just a couple of minutes before, so that we had some context.
They say, okay, well, that's better than whatever. Again, this is not disputed that high conflict households are worse for children. It is not the norm that it happens in 7 years, but it is the norm that parents do decide to get divorced. And it's also, unfortunately, normal that children grow up in houses where their parents do not get along, and that has detrimental effects, which is why they don't typically regret. Like when they're asked later, are you happy your parents got divorced? They say yes, because they remember that their mother or their father.
Yeah, it's called cope. That's called cope.
Father or whoever was miserable or fighting, and all that was happening. I wish that we lived in your society. I wish that there was a man in the sky. Let me finish. I wish that was the case. I wish there was a man in the sky who was telling us this is the way, and we could all follow him. And if we just tried hard enough, and if we just really stuck it out, then we could live in your perfect world. But we don't. And I don't think that it's our job every time we see a couple getting divorced. Well, you chose the wrong person. So that was the other shame that we should. You're shame because of you chose the wrong person before. We are shaming you now about your decisions made in the past, and we are shaming you for leaving anytime that there is anything other than physical or whatever you deem appropriate, including you think that it's not.
For those of you who don't remember Jazmin Jaffar, you can check out our last debate on Alex PWF, where she brought a whole slew of studies that she had never read and then spurred for about an hour straight when I asked her to clarify just a couple of things on them. It was absolutely hilarious and definitely worth a watch.
Just you, would you advise another person? Because then you try to get around it and say, oh, me personally, you can't say that because me personally, that's what I would do. I'm not saying that's what other people should do. In the situation that Alex talked about, would you tell another person to stay in that relationship for the children?
Okay, you asked like 15 questions, so...
Hang on, Rob, just 1 second. Before he answers your question, I do want to repeat one of the points he made that I think the chat would like clarification on. So do you feel
Super chat comes in. It's been great watching your come up since last year. Not one step back, BPF. Not one step back, Matthew. Not one. Not one. Alex interjecting, being a terrible moderator as usual.
so Rob is claiming that you kind of changed your position or you misspoke or whatever. Do you feel like you misspoke, or do you feel like he's misrepresenting what you said earlier?
He's misrepresenting. He acted like I said that the average person gets divorced after that this is the norm in society.
Hang on,
that
guys,
after
it's
7
coming.
years, people leave their marriages. I said that conflict typically starts arising at 7 years. So if I misspoke before, but that is my position, that conflict typically starts appearing in 7 years, and that a lot of relationships, whether they're marriages or not, that tends to be a hot spot. Just like, for instance, a lot of couples break up around holidays. That doesn't mean it's the norm. It doesn't mean everyone breaks up around holidays, but out of the couples that break up, we do see a cluster of it happening around the holidays. I don't think the 7-year point is even interesting at all. My here
I
is
get
that
a chance to speak?
most
Another question.
Let her finish, Rob.
Let her finish, Rob.
You'll get all this.
Let her finish, Rob. She just hasn't talked enough, bro.
All right, Rob, go ahead. You can speak as long as you
The
want.
7 years is irrelevant. That's not the point. What I'm saying is she's saying it's normal for people to not, it's normal for marriages to end. That's what she said.
Yep.
That the normal the 7 years is irrelevant. She's saying that's the average
agree.
time it takes.
You keep talking about it.
You're the one who keeps focusing on it. What I'm
No,
saying
you
is,
do.
I am not. I'm saying that that's the
Everyone
term.
go back and count how many times I brought up 7 years and he brought up 7 years.
I'm saying that you use that term specifically. The 7 years is irrelevant. The problem that I have with you is you're saying that it is human nature for marriages to end in divorce. That's what we should expect. We should expect that it's human nature that we're serial monogamous. And you said 7 years is the average. It doesn't matter if it's 14 years, 15
You
years,
brought it
2
up again.
years, whatever.
Let's
right?
never
It
bring up 7 years again. If it's
Wow,
stop
my
bringing it up.
God. I hope in your OnlyFans conflict you don't talk this stupid while you're blowing dudes and shit.
Yeah,
And that thing happened with Rob, where another know-it-all is trying to lecture him about how the world works, and Rob finally lost his marbles. Rob went, how the could you ever lecture me, a family man, a man with children and a wife who works at how this works? And something happened. This thing that happens to only men who have to enter into this sphere and listen to these insufferable broads spew their absolute that they don't even understand. That's what happened. And now we get to watch as Rob loses his mind live, and it was just as glorious as it sounds. More people should follow Rob, help him build up his channel. You should. It's Normal America with Rob Noerr, great friend of the channel. He was one of the few friends I made when I first entered into the space, and he's never been anything but kind to me. Wrongful says for $20, it's good to see people starting to call on their inner Sith Lord when doing battle with the degenerates to a great 2025 and years to follow. Yes. Well, I'll outline what our objectives are for this year soon, but let's get through some more of this.
I'm
Interesting.
just making a
We'll
ton of
continue.
money
We'll
on
continue.
OnlyFans.
Look, trust me. Listen, I was going to wait until we got to the part of this, but the fact that you have sort of the same amount of YouTube views as me, and I'm assuming your OnlyFans views
I
are
don't
higher
make my
than
money
your
off
YouTube
YouTube.
views. Right,
I don't
right.
make money on YouTube. I
Yes or
don't
no?
post on
Yes.
She makes her money off of blowing dudes on camera. Darth Noerr has embraced the dark side, Lord Andrew. The rule of two has been fulfilled. He will be a Christian nationalist by the end of the year, I guarantee
Yes or
it.
no? Is your
Next
OnlyFans
year.
more popular than your YouTube?
I don't post on YouTube, so obviously I post on
You don't have a
OnlyFans.
YouTube channel?
to the discussion.
I don't even know why this is
Anyway,
he's
let's
reverting.
get back- let's get
No,
back
can
to
answer
the
this
discussion
fucking
at hand.
Okay, wait, I
Thanks,
just want to
Alex,
respond
for
to
chatting.
it.
You're doing great.
Yeah,
He's
please
reverting
let-
his personal
let Rob
insult.
finish his point.
And
The fact
you
that
know
she
what's
has a
funny
YouTube
is
channel,
that,
the fact
is
that
that
she
he
has a
works
YouTube
a
channel,
lot
that's-
harder on his
here we go.
YouTube
That's
than I
fine.
do. You know what?
So
He
she
was
can
done.
talk
He
about this, I
started
can
his
talk
personal
over. I
insult.
don't
Alex,
know.
I have
Again,
Definitely,
if it was
yeah.
she could
Now you can see them all freaking out. The build-up is complete. Let's watch as Mr. Noerr continues with his onslaught. ATB, saw you on Piers. It was a bloodbath, brother. You're putting in the work. Also, my wife and I have known each other for over 30 years, going on strong. Welcome to the Crucible. Happy to have you here.
Probably hold our breath quite a lot.
Both of you guys, Jesus Christ. Okay, Jazmin. Well, I'm moving on past the whole like who has more subscribers or whatever. Let's let
I'll talk
Rob
about what I want, Alex.
to
Thanks
the
so much.
actual point.
I'll talk about what I like.
Just let him
Thanks.
finish his point,
Right.
and then you can respond. Okay, I'm muting everyone. Okay, go ahead, Rob.
Thanks for telling me what I can talk about, Alex. You can feel free to kick me from the show if you don't like what I'm talking about. I'm going to keep on this point. The point I'm trying to make there is, despite
Rob says, "Shut the up, Alex."
she's misleading you that she doesn't have a YouTube channel. She does. What I'm trying to say is, there she goes. She's going to interrupt again. Again, man, you must be real good at holding your breath a lot like when you're doing your work, right? So the point I'm just going to try to make Alex, I don't give a shit.
Figures a month on YouTube. I make 6 figures a month off OnlyFans.
How much
Can I mute both of you again? Okay, can you, Rob? Okay, I'm just going to mute you for a second. Can you explain to me how the subscribers thing is relevant to the whole? Tell me how it's relevant, then you can go.
He has embraced the dark side of the Force. Finally, he understands the Jedi and its order. It must be annihilated. Jack Nimble, here's some money. Merry Christmas. God bless the Crucible crew. God bless all of them. Even the Protestants.
I will
Even the Protestants. We'll bless even the Protestants.
show you how it's relevant, Alex. Ready?
Just not if you're a sewing circle Protestant.